Student is a platform for law students to come here and deliver a lecture on the topic of their choice. Today we have with us law student Girija Sarangdhar. She is going to speak on role of law and governance in infrastructure development. She is also a civil engineer and urban planner. She is from KES Shri Jayantilal H. Patel College of Law. So without wasting further time, I would request Girija to commence with her lecture. Thank you.
Hello folks, today I, Girija, I am going to speak on the topic of role of law and governance in infrastructure development. So to begin with, you all must be wondering what is infrastructure. So basically infrastructure is a basic like a physical, social and economical system which binds together to come across to support a particular business or a society. Now infrastructure may also come into, like we can see the roads, bridges, power, gas, everything. The basic necessities which we all citizens require for our day-to-day working, it all comes under infrastructure. Now this infrastructure, who develops this infrastructure? So basically talking about infrastructure development, it is we people who come together for its development. Now, abhi samjho you have like purchased a small plot or small land in a village, okay? और वहाँ पे जाने के लिए you don't have proper roads या any communication. So what will you do? You will consult the concerned Gram Panchayat head or the local authority. You will ask them कि I have purchased your land, but it's of no use because I can't go over there. I need a proper road to go. So you will approach the authority. You will give them applications that please, like, can you construct a small road for us? So basically infrastructure development arises when there is a need. So अगर आपको ज़रूरत है तो ही आप जाके वो डेवलप करने को देखोगे. So similarly, like how I spoke, this infrastructure development, all the citizens, local authorities, execution agencies, experts, supervisory authorities, every one of them come together to develop this infrastructure. Now this infrastructure development is being done by both the government and the public and the private sector. For example, like कुछ भी चीज़ आपको बांधना है, so you what will you require? You will require money. So ये पैसे आते कहाँ से? Either the state government or the central government or the union local body, they will provide certain amount of funds to develop this. But if for instance like एक है project and you don't have certain funds for that, so what government approaches is the PPP model. What PPP stands for? It is a public-private partnership, wherein the public authority takes help from the private sector for accumulation of funds and development of their land. Now major thing is what कि public जो है like the government, उनका working style and the private sector, those are completely different. Okay, like government they have the proper procedures. SBI account, like SBI bank भी consider करो, so you have to go at one place, then he will revert you to some other place, then the other place. So there's a chain of circle which you have to follow. But whereas in private, if you see, they have a proper repository, proper system by which you do not ponder here and there. So basically working together, a government and a private sector will flourish the city or the nation in a much more extent. But what happens is we need to bridge the gap between these two entities. So here comes the role of a PMC. What is a PMC? PMC stands for Project Management Consultancy. So those are basically experts or the consultants from a private firm which take over the project of the government body as their subordinate. So basically PMC is not like a third party, it is a helping hand to the government which assists and supports the government for their functioning. Now like after the PMC is appointed, okay, so इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप करना है, गवर्नमेंट है वो बोलेगा हाँ ये आप काम कर सकते हो, ये करो, दे आर गिविंग द अप्रूवल, बट दे डोंट लिटरली हैव द टाइम एंड लाइक द एफिशिएंसी टू लाइक go on the ground and do grassroots leveling. So they do appoint certain contractors or execution agencies. Now this appointment of certain contractors or execution agencies also implies that they need to follow certain procedures, like there would be an administrative sanction, a technical sanction, bid and other bidding documents like procurement and as such. So from where do we get these rules? So these are standardized rules which are laid by the law. So basically, a law or an act provides us instruction like how infrastructure should be developed. Now, like as I spoke PPP, certain can be done like in house also. Like government है, खुद का ही पैसे, खुद के engineers है, लगा दो काम पे, छोटा piece of work है, कर लो. But it's not that easy in all the circumstances, and so we need private partnership in this as well. Now, like private partners को लिया, okay? उनको आप verbally बोलोगे कि जाओ ये काम करो. Are they going to do? You need to keep them like under your like उसको बांध के रखोगे किसी चीज से तो ही वो परफॉर्म करेगा. And so we require a contract or an agreement with that agency. So here also comes our contract law. We have studied contract law in our syllabus as well. So contract आया. So contract में भी there is a pecuniary statement stating time is essence of contract. Now this is a legal phrase which means that the time is a condition for contract. So if you don't complete your work in the particular time limit or the deadline, then you are actually doing a contract breach. A material breach of time is a great, like you can say it's very bad if your project is getting extended. Now, like what are the remedies? हो गया late हो गया, delay हो गया project, किसी का गलती है नहीं है, circumstances है. So what is the remedy available? You can either terminate the contract, like government agency बोलेगा तुमसे नहीं हो रहा है तुम मत करो, and appoint some other agency. So termination is a remedy available, or else they will impose damages because time is money. अगर time जा रहा है तो भाई मेरे time का you pay me money. So damages is literally money. So if your work, if your project is getting extended, the authority may impose damages upon you. So penalty करके damages या liquidated damages pay करो and you complete the rest work in the time. Now time is essence. Okay, we'll come across certain points which will say why the project is getting delayed. Okay, now 2019 we had COVID. Okay, COVID में क्या हुआ? Everyone was under lockdown. We weren't able to roam like how we can do it today. We were restricted in our houses. So if all the people are restricted in the houses, how is infrastructure going to develop? It is obvious that every process is going to be getting delayed. But abhi time जा रहा है. In this case, what will you do? Will you penalize the contractor because this project is getting hampered? Obviously no. Like natural justice भी बोले, so it is a force majeure event. Force majeure refers to greater force, which is also related to an act of God. अगर ऐसा कोई है, for example COVID, disaster आया, floods आया, like any such thing which is neither in the what we can say, there is no default with either the governmental agency or the private partner. So in this case, what we can do is we can give extension of time. Like in our contract, there are certain provisions of providing EOT or extension of time. Now, if there is no fault of the contractor, the extension of time is provided free of cost. Like 4 months are affected, you complete the project in further 4 months. But wherein there are certain cases wherein the project, the contractor is at fault. So in these cases, the liquidated damages may be imposed by the authority upon their discretion. It is not compulsory that every time the agency will impose them damages. Certain time the government is like, okay, this happens, that it is not his that, he is not that at fault, so he'll just give the EOT. Now, like force majeure event, other reasons would be like unavailability of labor. Labor है, कोई भी रोड बांधना है या कोई बिल्डिंग बांधना है, आप और हम जाके रोड पे जाके वो सीमेंट मिक्स तो नहीं करेंगे. We need laborers. Now there must be certain instances where these laborers are not able to work. Like कोई festival आ गया तो उन्हें उनके गांव में जाना है. Usually what happens in Maharashtra is we get laborers from MP, Uttar Pradesh, because those are certain states which are like financially backward than Maharashtra. Since Maharashtra as Mumbai has its financial capital, we don't face much issues like the outskirts. So laborers are generally migrated from abroad over here, like from MP, Uttar Pradesh and much more. Now unke festivals hai, like a common person, even they will feel like, ha, festival I need to be with my family. So you can't say no to that person. No, you're not supposed to go. I'm in a contract. I have to complete this. You have to let go. Like this is a humanitarian ground where you let go people. So, speaking about unavailability of labor, it would be like a festival season is there. or some health issue is there, like he is feeling some like कुछ health issue आ गया, so he's not able to come, or it's like any many more reasons are there, like he is not getting basic necessities like food, shelter to workplace. So all this considering, now we also have a subject of labor and industrial laws. We studied about lockouts, then we studied about strikes, then many more things like which are particularly for the welfare, for the betterment of these laborers. Now infrastructure develop करना है बॉस आपको, इसका भी ज़रूरत लगा लेबर एंड इंडस्ट्रियल लॉज, मतलब क्या कि लॉ रिक्वायर लाइक इंजीनियरिंग और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट ऑल्सो रिक्वायर्स द फील्ड ऑफ लॉ, and you need to have knowledge about those certain areas. Next reason would be unavailability of materials. Okay, like आपको construct करना है, you require a certain specialized type of rock, or like for example at Nashik, the Godavari riverfront development, the particular need of that project is the basalt rock, and that too in this the thickness, the dimensions are predetermined as per the tender conditions or the RFP conditions. Now when you go and for the procurement, the raw quarries are not working, or there is some shortage over there. So in this case, is this a fault of the contractor that he is not getting materials? Naturally it is not his fault. Also, for example, Rajasthan से कोई material आपका महाराष्ट्र में आ रहा है, in between if there is a vehicle breakdown or certain mishap happens and there is a delay, so in this case who are you going to like put hold on? The agency for not completing the work or any such thing? So in a contract also, as per the contract between the agencies, it is written that the labor, everything is the liability of the contractor. So he has to manage it well first. Like आपको pre plan करना है कि आगे जाके अगर ये मुसीबतें आ रही है, so how are you going to tackle them? Another thing is for a D-line project is like a D-line providing approvals by competent authority. So competent authority refers to the government. Okay, they are giving you approval, ye karo. You propose certain drawings and designs to them. They give a check mark. Okay, this is fine. This material is fine. But while you are going for execution, they feel like नहीं यार ये पत्थर अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. I want more colors in it. Like I don't want grey color. I don't want monotonous. पुणे में देखो उधर का रोड कैसा red वाला है. I want that in my city also. Now what will the contractor do? At first instance, you only gave approval, you only designed, you like, and now you're going. So due to the delaying approvals, okay, if the authority is itself delaying the approvals, like एक rock है, उसको approve करना है, then the internal committee will sit and they will think, नहीं ये नहीं, हम लोग राजस्थान नहीं, we will bring the stone from say MP से लाना है, या we want another vendor. So उनके internal discussions and internal जो ये बोलते हैं, for that reason, and those are valid points as well. If you're not discussing and approving, you're not taking time, तो कुछ भी बना दोगे आप. So win-win situation में, like if you're delaying because of the delay in approval of the authority, it is not binding of the contractor as such. So this is one of the reason why projects get delayed. Next would be change in design. As I spoke, like पहले for example you have to build a elevated storage reservoir. In literal means it पानी का टाकी है. It is for the surrounding area at a height. Now first the designer, as per structural designs, designed a square shaped elevated storage reservoir. But while going into execution, the executing agency comes to know that this area is actually affected by like XYZ community place. So it is nearby, like for example एक mosque है या गुरुद्वारा है. So you are infringing a certain portion of it in their land, so you can't do it. So आगे जाके remedy क्या रहेगा इसको? आप एक तो वो cancel ही कर दो project. But if you are cancelling it, you are affecting the public at large. So the next change would be you will change the design. अगर rectangle है, अगर circle करके देखते हैं या दूसरा area कम करते हैं, फिर भी our need is to satisfy. या elevated storage reservoir की जगह पे आप ground में भी दे लो, मतलब basement के नीचे भी एक water storage है and ऊपर भी है. So the capacity of the water is fulfilled and the other needs are also fulfilled. But what happens is while the square tank is designed, it takes ample amount of time and efforts of the designer. And all of a sudden if this change comes, then the time for designing this activity or designing the structure would be affecting the entire project. So change in scope is also a key concern why projects get delayed. Now, unavailability of materials, unavailability of labor, change in scope, change in design, then the delay in approvals by the authority. These all reasons then form grounds for arbitration. Arbitration in mutual sense क्या है कि आप कोर्ट में नहीं जा रहे हो झगड़ने के लिए, बट आपके राइट्स है, आप पुट फोर्थ कर रहे हो, मुझे ये मेरा गलती नहीं है, आपका गलती है, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा, आउट ऑफ द कोर्ट सेटलमेंट करने के लिए यू गो फॉर एन आर्बिट्रेशन. नाउ आर्बिट्रेशन है, वो कैसे करोगे? कोर्ट में कैसे? कोर्ट है, जजेस, यू वेयर द गाउन, यू हैव द समन्स, यू हैव टू गो एंड टेक द ओथ, you have to put for the pleadings, everything. There is a set of rules. But what for arbitration? Are there such set of rules? So these all, what we can say, the system or processes we come to know through a act like the Arbitration Act. From there we get to know like what can be done or what is to be done. So arbitration also refers appointment of arbitrators. For small instances, we can appoint one arbitrator who can decide between the conflicting entities like what would be done. But in major projects, like in projects which are in crores, you can't rely on a single person's decision or a single person's opinions. So in that instant, three arbitrators are mostly appointed. One would be from the A party, other one from the B party, and a C would be appointed by the two arbitrators who combinedly will be giving their verdict on that matter. Uh, so this was all about time being essence of contract, the reasons why the projects get delayed, and the remedies available to it. Now, what is the role of governance in infrastructure development? Governance मतलब क्या? कि हाँ, I am the authority, I am looking after it, I know what to be done, I will guide, I will provide directions. So here comes the role of a CEO or the Chief Executive Officers. Now again comes a question कि आप किसको अपॉइंट करोगे, उसका डेजिग्नेशन क्या रहेगा, उसका रेम्यूनरेशन क्या रहेगा, उसका पर से उसका एजुकेशन क्या रहेगा. Along with CEO, you will require a finance officer who will deal with the accounts of the company, a CS, a company secretary who will be representing the company, the directors, the executive directors, and the board committee members. So ये सारे जो requirements है, how will you point out कि boss मेरे company के लिए मुझे कितने लोग चाहिए, कितने directors चाहिए. So all these guidelines are beautifully drafted in the Companies Act, which we have also studying in our law. So basically engineering है, civil engineering है, infrastructure develop करना है, urban plan करना है, you require a helping hand of the law. So that is the role of law and governance in infrastructure development. Now weekly review meetings is also a key, we can say key element for daily functioning. Weekly, every Monday or every a particular day of the week, the authority, the executive director or the CEO holds a meeting with his employees like his CS, his CFO, and other assistant managers. On the other side, we have the contractors, and also we have the PMC involved in that, because PMC would be like authority है, इनका भी गलती नहीं है, contractor है, इनका भी गलती नहीं है. So we need a brainstorming person to pull out a way out from there. So these meetings, like after discussions and after like various, we can say the points which the point which are put forth in the meeting, we can come to know like what can be done. So this would be a speedy disposal. ओके सो लाइक एक प्रॉब्लम है, सपोज साइड पे है, आई डोंट नो यहाँ से पाइप ले करना है या आई शुड गो 5 meters आगे या पीछे, बिकॉज देयर इज अ कंस्ट्रेंट इन द साइट लोकेशन. सो what will you, we will wait, we'll write letters and we will keep it to asking the authority or as such? No, for such trivial matters, this weekly review meetings are a key hand. For example, in the meeting, if you put forth this agenda, sir, this is a problem of the site and we are facing this issue, the authority may appropriately tell, okay, you go for this, change this. So this minimal matters can be dealt with in a weekly review meeting. Accordingly, there are mutual discussions, amicable settlements, and like for disputes, a notice of dispute may be provided, arbitration appointment. So these are all the key points to which we can go ahead with the development of our infrastructure. Now, lastly, as I spoke, like, see, being a consultant at a reputed firm and like practicing this and coming across this, I can relate it now. But as a student, we need to understand that law is supreme over all. So here comes our legal maxim, that is nemo est supra legis, meaning no one is above the law. So basically, civil engineering, infrastructure development ho, urban planning, yeah, any other field, you need a helping hand of law. So with this was all about role of law and governance in infrastructure development, which is then like contributing towards development of our nation, India, and its position globally. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Girija, thank you very much. We could hear that a blend of your civil knowledge, being a engineer in that side, and the law, which you have nicely blended in your lecture. I think this was a nice tip for contractors. It was a nice tip for builders who are not organized themselves very well. And you covered also the various laws which are connected in this particular field. So thank you very much. This is a small token from Hammurabi to you.